All right, what's up everybody? We're going to do a quick short video today just to cover the basics. You know, at Jazz Wealth here, me in particular, I get the opportunity to speak with so many beginners, so many retirees, so many people all over the stages in their different, retirement investment life. And so one of the things that I run across is that some people don't have the basic knowledge yet. And we take that for granted. So a lot of times I'll just come on here, make some videos, talk about some stuff, and sort of take for granted the fact that, you know, a lot of people are just getting started. They're just beginning. They don't know where to begin. So what I want to do is a real short video today, the absolute basics of retirement investing from top to bottom. Let's just cover some of this. And a lot of it has to do with general questions that I get along the way. Okay, so on the board here, you see we've got a couple different things so far. I hope the audio is good. We're trying something different here. Let me know if it's not. But basically, these are the different types of retirement accounts that you're going to stumble across. Okay, anything with a number in it is offered by your employer. Okay, so 401k, 403b, 457, if there's a number in the account title, then that means that your employer is the only one that can offer that. Any account type with only letters in it can be offered by anybody, including us here at Jazz Wealth, so happy to help with that. But so keep that in mind. If it has a number in it, then it's only offered by the employer. If it has a letter in it, then it is offered by, it's offered by your, by us, sorry, by anybody. So that's the first start. Now here's what you want to do. When you're going to invest for retirement, you want to look for, the employer's account first, okay? So start here, because what happens in these accounts is your employer may give you some money, okay? So here's how this works when you contribute. Let's say you sign up for a 401k. The money comes out of your paycheck, okay? So let's say your paycheck is $2,000. The way this works is before you get taxed, in most cases here, before you get taxed, let's say you contribute $100. Your paycheck would be $2,000 minus $100 towards, say, your 401k or whatever, and then you'd be left with $1,900. The next line would be $1,900 on your pay stub, and then you would have taxes, all the garbage taken out from here. So, you know, your federal income tax, maybe your state income tax, Medicare, Social Security, all that stuff, and that would leave you with some net a number like $50 or something like that, okay? So that's how these accounts work. You get paid. You put in some money from your paycheck. Your employer might put some money in as well. You end up with a amount before tax. It gets taxed. That's what you take home, okay? So that's how these accounts work for the most part, okay? Just generally speaking. Now, these accounts here, this is a little bit different. This is where you're going to start these on your own. Now, I always say start here. If you put money into any account with a number in it, and that account, the employer puts money into, then you start there, okay? Just see if we have some, we actually have some questions there. Oh, okay. I see. Okay, so let me do that at the end, because I know there's a little delay. I want to go over this. So always start with your employer's account. So if you are trying to invest for retirement and you have the option of one of these, and the employer will put money into match whatever you put in, then you start there, okay? Now let's say, for example, they do not offer that, or you want to open an additional account. The account has letters in it. That means you open it on your own. Nobody's going to do it for you. You got to open it on your own. Keep us in mind here at Jazz Wealth. But there are a few different ones you want to consider. For the most part, most of you will land right here with the Roth IRA. By far the best account out of all of them if you qualify, okay? So keep that in mind. There is the traditional IRA, the Roth IRA, the SEP IRA. There's a bunch of other ones, but these are the most common. SEP IRAs are for those of you that are self-employed. It doesn't actually stand for self-employed. You think it would, but it doesn't. Simplified employer pension, that's what it means. Kind of confusing. So most of you are going to end up with this Roth. Now here's how this works. In a Roth IRA, let's say you get paid $2,000 pre-tax, and then all of a sudden your federal, your state, local, whatever it is, your Medicare, Social Security gets taken out. You end up with a final take-home amount of, say, $1,000. I know it's better than that, but so you end up with taking home $1,000. that money can go into a Roth. Now at this point, you would put in your Roth contribution, okay? Or anything else that you do. So this comes directly from your bank account. This, with Jazz here, if you actually use us, you can have it come out of your paycheck. We'll link up with your employer and deduct it from your paycheck, but that's gonna come in after tax. So you see the advisors, the boring videos, they talk about pre-tax and post-tax. Roth IRA is post-tax. Most of these are going to be pre-tax like we described before. You get paid something before tax is taken out, some money gets taken out, and then the rest of it goes into that, okay? So that's where that goes there. Now those are the account types. Here's how you do this. Don't let this confuse you. If you're just beginning or you're curious, if you're doing the right thing, you start here, okay? It doesn't benefit us. I make these videos. I hope you come keep us in mind at Jazz Wealth, but you have to start here first because there may be a match. So you contribute to any of these accounts up to any match that's offered. Now they make these matches really confusing where they'll say we'll match, I don't know, 6% of whatever you put in up to 6% of whatever you put in. They make it so complicated. Just know that there's a calculator usually for you available there, and they will tell you, what it is and how much you can put in to get the full match. Once you put in money up to the match, then you move on to these accounts, okay? No question about it, you move on to these accounts, probably the Roth IRA. So if the match in here, you put in $100 and that's as much as you can put in, and you want to put in more, then you go on to the Roth IRA. Give us a call, happy to help you with that, okay? First start here, then go here, okay? Now, every account, this is where it gets a little more complicated, these accounts have limits of what you can put in. Okay, so for the most part up here, if you're under the age of 50, $18,500. That's the most you can put in that account, that you can put in the account, okay? $18,500. If you're over the age of 50, you can go an additional $6,000 from there. But if your employer puts in money, that doesn't count towards this. Okay, so if you put in $18,000 and your employer matches 6% of that or whatever, that's cool. That counts. That doesn't count towards your contribution. That's in addition, okay? Down here, the Roth and the IRA this year are going to be $5,500 if you're under the age of 50 or $6,500 if you are over the age of 50. And then the SEP IRA is a little bit different. It's sort of a special vehicle. It is 25% of your income or $54,000 now. Whatever's lower. So that's for the self-employed individual. This is pre-tax, by the way, okay? So I don't mean to go off on a tangent there, but that you should know every account has its own max contribution amount. So first step, we got to choose the account, okay? So if you're an absolute beginner, you're going to start here, look to see if your employer has any of these that have a number on it. If they do not, then you're going to come down here and choose the Roth IRA for the most part. Let me know if you have any questions on that, but that's where you're going to start. Then you'll know you could put $5,500. If you happen to start up here, you're going to contribute only to the match, okay? Now you've got your account type, you've got the contributions that you can make. Next comes the investments. Just because you put money in here doesn't mean it starts to grow, okay? These are just names on an account, just like a checking account. You can open a checking account at a bank, nothing happens till you actually put money in and start doing transactions, right? So in these accounts here, you're going to be given choices, okay? And the choices are limited, very limited. Oh, I spelled it wrong, whatever. They're limited, okay? But you're gonna have choices. You're gonna have some mutual funds in there of all different sort of patterns, maybe growth, could be target date funds, could be anything. You're gonna have a choice in here. Typically, you have 9 choices. You're going to be given a booklet, and the booklet will have 9 or more choices in that thing, and that's it. That's all you could choose from. Those are your only options. If they give you more, great, you just have more to choose from. Down here, once you put money in, you can invest in anything you like, almost anything. There's some stupid exceptions, but basically anything but life insurance you can invest in here, okay? Anything. Now, just because you open this account, you now put money in, and now it's time to choose investments. If you're not comfortable with choosing those investments, that's exactly what we do here. We found that little area of the market where people say, I've chosen the account type. I put money in, I have no idea what to do next, right? So that's what we set up Jazz Wealth to do. We'll help you choose those investments. But just know, I can't tell you how many calls I get from people that say, I picked the Roth IRA, I put some money in, it hasn't grown in 2 years. Dustin, what am I doing wrong? You never chose any investments. You gotta choose those investments, and you could pick anything: stocks, exchange traded funds, mutual funds, anything you could think of, really, besides Bitcoin. It's not really available yet, but you can invest in anything, okay? So you're gonna choose the account type. You're gonna contribute money to it. You're then going to pick the investments once you have the money in there, or you're gonna get someone like us to pick the investments for you, okay? So it's really, really that simple. I didn't want to make this too long, but you get the point. You're going to find the account at work. If they offer that account, great. Contribute up to the match, not $1 more. Everything else goes into this account, or if your employer doesn't offer anything, then you're going to open one of these. Once you've chosen the account type, you're going to start putting money in. Careful not to go over the max amount. If you're working with us, I'll stop you, or at the end of the year, we'll go through and dig and see who put too much in. We'll go from there. Once the money's in there, if you're doing it yourself, you're going to start choosing investments. Pick stuff you like, pick stuff you think you're interested in. If you need help with that, then that's where you're going to come. Hopefully, keep us in mind at Jazz Wealth. Whew. Okay, I think I answered all of it there. Let's see if there's any questions. A couple newbies. Great. Okay, perfect. That was the idea. I really have a lot of questions lately from people about very basics there. So I hope that helped you. Very nice. Can you explain the difference between an ETF and what an index fund is? Are they the same thing? You get confused. So index fund is used sort of loosely in the business. You can have an index mutual fund and you can have an index exchange traded fund. For the most part, you need to know that exchange traded funds are exactly the same as mutual funds. They just don't cost you anything. Any cost is paid out of dividends from the exchange traded fund. So I prefer exchange traded funds exclusively over mutual funds. And that's the key there. So you can have a mutual fund that's index based, meaning it just follows whatever the index does, which is really silly, by the way, because that's like, why wouldn't you want to do better than that? So mutual fund that follows the index, say the Dow, the S&P, whatever it may be. You can have an exchange traded fund that also does the same thing. So it is confusing because typically index fund is meant more for the mutual funds, but we use it sort of loosely. So mutual fund or exchange traded fund, both can track the index. So I wish I had a better way to say it, but that's how they do it. Can you explain the good and the bad about ESOP through employee-owned company? I have no bad to say about it other than you start putting your eggs in one basket. If the company's stock price goes down, your 401k is going down, and you lose your paycheck, I don't like that idea that sort of the company's survival really means your survival. So I tend to say, oh, can we put some money outside of that? Plan to marry a millionaire. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one. After you put the max of 18.5, can you still put 5,500 in a traditional IRA and have both totals lower my taxable income? You can put the money in there, but you will not be able to deduct and lower your income by as much as you are hoping. You want to consider other options there. That would not fly with the IRS. Good thinking, though. You guys are smart. I get a lot of interesting questions from what we do there. So anyways, that was just a quick one, okay? So now you know the process. Very simple, very clean, straightforward. You know what to do. If you need help, come find me at Jazz Wealth. Check our events out. Check our portfolios out on our website. We do have a great class coming up on budgeting. If you're not one of our customers, simple class. We're going to cover every last detail just like we do here. It'll be on Saturday, June 9th. Come check it out, and we will wrap it up from there. Thanks again. We'll talk to you soon. See, the problem with budgeting is all of the financial gurus out there, all of the blogs just give you general advice, get you all pumped up to go budget, and then you get going and you have no idea where to start. Let's talk about the big ticket items that can financially ruin you if you don't know how much to spend and how much to budget on them. Emergency funds, retirement savings, this is a class about specifics. We are not going to motivate you. I am not going to inspire you. I'm going to educate you on exactly what you need to do with your budget, with these big ticket items and the big portions of your budget, so that you and your family never stress about budgeting your money again. If you sign up before June 8th, then we're giving you lifetime access to Nest Egg, our personal financial portal where you can get your dough straight. Everything in your financial life, including your budget, can be seen on this portal. And best of all, we do not sell your information like Mint or some of the other apps. It is 100% yours, customizable to you. Again, if you want to be motivated, you want to be inspired, then this is not the class for you. If you want details and specifics about what to do the second you finish with this class, well then I hope to see you there.